Hello and welcome to another Midweek Reflection today at St David's Uniting Church. I hope you're well. I hope you're having a good week. My week has mostly been about catching up with things, catching up with emails, phone calls, pastoral news, meetings that I couldn't have over the past couple of weeks because I've been out of the office. A week of that, up walking Hadrian's Wall, more on that in a minute. And then since then, I've been to Minister's Summer School online. I've been actually to a physical live gathering in Sheffield where I was leading worship for the URC youth exec, which was fun. And I've even been to the dentist, ding, since we last chatted. But enough about all that. Back to my holiday, because I didn't get a chance to tell you about that last week. So yes, I had an amazing time walking the Hadrian's Wall path between Newcastle or South Shields and Bowness on Water, just near Carlisle, just a bit further on. And it was amazing to walk along the wall. Apparently only 10% of it can be seen in its original state, but there is a lot more of it there that may have been rebuilt, and it is really amazing to see a little glimpse into the lives that the Watchers on the Wall, I'm going all Game of Thrones here, the wall in Game of Thrones was based on Hadrian's Wall. But yeah, the soldiers, the lives that the soldiers led, and in the stunning countryside, and feeling that connection with those who have gone before us and with nature all around us. It was incredible. And there were many beautiful sights along the way. Some photos might pop up now, including what I really loved is a few stops where residents, when you'd be walking through a little neighbourhood or even out in the countryside next to a house in the middle of nowhere, you would have these places that were selling, but at a very good price, sweets and drinks and snacks and signs that said put your feet up for a while, and just little stops of hospitality and honesty boxes. And I thought that's a wonderful thing to do. I was really taken by them. And I'm sure it's a parable for the church. I should have thought about this more before speaking. But yeah, stops along the way, stops where you can find refreshment and nourishment and welcome along the way when your feet might be aching or your heart might be singing at the beauty around you. So they were fab, and yeah, a good week had. Yeah, I think that's what I was going to say about that. But my question for you then is, what do you know about the Emperor Hadrian? The one who gave the instructions to build the wall. What do you know about him? Well, yeah, obviously, apart from the fact he designed, ordered the wall to be built. Yeah, okay, other than the fact that he was emperor between 117 and 138 AD or CE. Other than that. Yeah, well, other than that, yes, and the fact he rebuilt the Pantheon in Rome. Yeah, anything else? He says, looking at his cheat sheet. Yeah, he visited every province. Machiavelli himself said he was one of the 5 good emperors because of his personal generosity and apparent honesty. He was a hunter, he was a poet, he was a philosopher, he was an astrologer. He was apparently one of the most versatile of all the Roman emperors. And of course, to his citizens and subjects, he was considered a god. Quite a life. Okay. Part 2, low battery. But where was I? Hadrian, yes, incredible person. Someone who was considered a god, a decent man, someone who was a father, whose life affected hundreds of thousands of people, both within the Roman Empire, end of the day, and beyond. So it did some incredible achievements, and yet today he's best and probably widely only really only known for the wall, that crumbling bit of stone up in the north of England. And in many ways, of course, that's an incredible legacy, almost 2,000 years on, something that he created or imagined, desired to be built, ordered to be built, is still with us, and that story lives on. But for someone who was an emperor, considered divine, etc., to be known for a wall is an interesting legacy. And that got me thinking about us and our own legacies. And so the question I'd like you to consider this week, and it's one not to send in, but just to think about, to pray about, to ponder, is what would you like to be remembered for? When you've been promoted, as some say, when you've died, when you are with God in the eternal home, what would you like to be remembered for here? Perhaps it's an attribute. Perhaps it's the children that you gave birth to. Perhaps it's projects you started. Perhaps it's something as small and as world-changing as just being kind. What would you like to be remembered for? And of course, something that our generations plural, different generations, will be remembered for is how we dealt with the climate crisis. We know that we are really today one of the first groups of people who have been made abundantly aware just how great and devastating an impact we are having on the environment, on God's creation. And we have a choice to react, to respond to that. And we do that in many different ways, and as a synod, within the URC, we're looking at what it means to be an eco-synod and encouraging congregations to become eco-churches. As individuals, we're all encouraged to think about the consequences of our actions on the environment, from recycling to the use of cars and planes and our travel, to our meat consumption, all of these things that we talk about a fair amount. And one thing that we can get involved in, if this is something you might be interested in, is a walk that is being organised to raise awareness of the climate crisis and to call upon our politicians to do more to respond to it meaningfully. So there is a walk, a 1,000-mile walk between, I think I sound quite South London when I say that, walk, between Cornwall, where the G7 was held, and Glasgow, where COP26, is that it? Where the big environmental summit is being held later this year. So there's a walk between Cornwall and Glasgow, crisscrossing the UK. And it's been organised by the Young Christian Climate Network. And to take part in it, you can be of any age, and we have been invited to do so. So between the 3rd of July, written it on my hand, so it's true, between the 3rd and the 10th of July, they are walking between Swansea and Chepstow, obviously little sections per day. And it's coming near us, it's coming to Penrith and Llantrisant, and it's going to Cardiff. And so if you can spare a day, and if walking 8 miles or so in a day is something you're able to do, if you would like to join this walk, if you'd like more information on it, please go here to this website to find out more. The Christian Aid are involved in it as well, and there are many Christian organisations that are promoting it as a way for us to show our demand that our politicians wrestle with this topic more seriously, just as we're encouraged to do so too. So that's it for this week. Let's think about our legacy, about what do we want to be remembered for, or for what do we want to be remembered, for you pedants. And secondly, if you're interested in walking to raise awareness of the climate crisis, do please take a look wherever that website was. That's it for today. I've waffled on long enough, and as you can tell, it is the end of the day, so I'm going to go and lie down in a darkened room. Bye for now. Go well.